Hi, this is James from BecauseYouWantItToKnow.com, and this is my 30-day review of T-Mobile service. Now, this is kind of a little bit of a special review because there was a whole lot of new things that happened at T-Mobile this month, or actually in the last 30 days. For one, they got rid of all of their contracts, so there's no more 2-year contracts. Pretty much everything is a month-to-month type thing. They came out with a new pricing plan, which I am on, and their new LTE internet service went online here in Phoenix. It came online in 6 other markets also, but Phoenix was one of those markets, so that's going to be included in this review. I'm going to be covering a couple of different areas. One is going to be price. 2 is going to be sound quality, as far as talking and all that kind of good stuff. And then the third area is going to be data. So let's get started with price. I'm on the top tier of the T-Mobile pricing plans. It's $70 a month, which is absolutely phenomenal. $70 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited internet. Now, when it comes to unlimited internet, usually there would be 2 types of unlimited. One is unlimited internet, and the other is unlimited internet. This is just plain old regular unlimited internet. I didn't notice any throttling. I didn't notice any, wasn't throttled. I didn't get any messages saying I overused my data. They didn't cut me off, so everything was kind of good there. And I did use a pretty good amount of data. Now, what I did is I kind of compared what it would have cost me if I would have basically did the same things with the other carriers. With T-Mobile, it was $70, and that's on a month-to-month type thing. If I was with AT&T, it would have cost me about $140 to use exactly what I used this month. Now, if I knew that I had restrictions, I probably would have been a little bit more wise with my data, and so I would probably say I wouldn't have spent $140. I maybe would have spent $120. With Sprint, I would have been at $110 because they do have an unlimited thing also all the way around. With Verizon, again, I would have been at around $140, $150, but if I had Verizon, I would have been a little bit more wise in the use of my data. So maybe I could have got that bill down to maybe around $110. Either way, saving about $40 a month. So if the service actually meets up with the other services out there, not a bad deal. And let's talk about that. Let's go to the next category, and that's going to be sound quality as far as voice and everything else like that. The phone that I was using for the 30 days was my Galaxy Note 2. Great phone, by the way. I absolutely love it. But as far as sound quality, I was really impressed. It was very good all the way around. When I had AT&T, I had 5 bars, 4 bars everywhere I went, period. With T-Mobile, I do notice that sometimes I'll have 5 bars, sometimes I'll have 4, sometimes I'll have 1. But it seems that the sound quality is consistent. I could always hear the caller. There was one drop call that I can really recall in the last 30 days, and I'm not even sure whether I dropped the call or whether the other person did. So even though there may have only been 1 or 2 bars, the sound quality was consistent, no choppiness. And I was pretty happy with that. Actually, very happy with that. I really can't think of anything to say bad about it. Going to data. Data is one of those things where for smartphone users, it can either be a nightmare or it can be a joy. In my case, it was a joy. For the last 30 days, I'd probably say I used about 11.5 gigabytes worth of data. Pretty much anytime I'm out, I stream my music. I don't listen to the radio. If I do listen to the radio, it'd be like sports talk or whatever the case may be. All of my music I stream from my Google Music, and I'll watch Netflix movies when I'm out. So I really do use a good deal of data, probably more than the average person. For that 11.5 gigs, they did not throttle my data, and I did not get any nasty messages saying you're using too much data. I made the point of actually calling T-Mobile and telling them, hey, there's a chance I could use like a gig of data a day. Are you guys okay with that? Oh yeah, no problem. So if that changes, I will definitely let you know. Let's go into kind of the speed of the data, because that's something that's really important. As I said earlier in the video, I was in one of the test markets as far as the LTE service that T-Mobile just unveiled a little bit more than a week ago. So in the LTE, you're going to get much higher data speeds. I would probably say, kind of looking at last week, and I'll give you the percentages. Here in Phoenix, about 65% of the time I was in 4G. And that's just being around Phoenix, Peoria, Glendale, in the metropolitan Phoenix area. About 65% of the time I was in 4G. 4G gave me 6 to 8 megabits per second. No problem with Netflix, no problem with Pandora, no problem with Google Music, no problem with any updating my phone. It was more than sufficient. So those of you who are not in those 7 markets with the LTE updates, that's what you can expect. The markets that were updated was Baltimore, Houston, Kansas City, Las Vegas, San Jose, and Washington. So those actually have LTE in them. They're supposed to be expanding to others very soon, bringing on new markets like every couple of weeks. But as for right now, those markets plus Phoenix, we have the LTE. Now, the LTE I was on for about 35, let's say 32% of the time, because there's another category. About 32% of the time I had LTE, and my download speed was anywhere from 18 megabits per second to 27. Absolutely fabulous. Really did enjoy it. It was great. You know, but the 6 to 8 also did pretty much anything I wanted to do also. And the fact that I had unlimited and it wasn't throttled, that was big to me. That was really, really the most important thing. I can tell you there was about 2%, 3% of the time where either I had no internet, or for those of you from years back, there was the E that came up. So E is like about 2G or something like that. And it was just in a couple spots around Phoenix. As a matter of fact, there's a spot I drive by every single day. There's about a quarter of a mile. I can talk on the phone, no problem, but there's no internet there at all. And it's really weird because there's like 4 bars. But it happens every single day, so that's where that 2 or 3% is. And usually, just from the buffering, I can get through that, so it's not really a real problem. My overall grade for T-Mobile, I'm going to have to say it's an A. I really am. One, unlimited internet as far as no throttling and not having any restrictions. Like I said, I called T-Mobile and said I could be using up to a gig a day. The fact that I don't have to go through and be concerned with, hey, do I need to put it on Wi-Fi? Or should I watch this movie? Or should I stream my music? Or should I download music into my phone? The fact that I have those choices is big. 2, sound quality seems to be great. Just happy with it all the way around. I can tell you if some things do come up, I will definitely notify you. But as of right now, I'm going to give T-Mobile an A. I also had given AT&T an A also. So I'm probably even going to say T-Mobile is probably going to be an A+. Only because for $70 a month, that is just a phenomenal deal. Now, I want everyone to kind of realize I'm in the Phoenix area. So being in the Phoenix area, I have the benefit of the LTE. I have pretty good coverage everywhere. I have heard that there are some places in the country where T-Mobile coverage is horrible and you don't have the LTE. So you might want to really kind of consider that. If you're in a situation to where you have good coverage, that $70 plan is absolutely unbelievable. You'll save a lot of money. I did, and I just didn't see any restrictions at all. So that's pretty much it. If you found this review helpful, please give me a like. Please subscribe, because I'm going to try to make like 3 videos a week over a variety of different topics. Leave me some comments, especially if you have any questions about anything that you want me to kind of do a review on, whether it be a computers or cell phones or service or anything else like that. And that is it. Thank you for viewing. Bye-bye.